article that came out claiming that Steam might be a monopoly, which for anybody who understands what the fuck's actually happening, we all know is bullshit. It's not even that Steam's not even trying to become a dominant force. They're just existing, doing what they've always done for years, being customer friendly and convenient for people, and they're not invasive, no more than they have to be for certain things. And have actually been pro-consumer for a long time, and continue to be. So the only people even questioning if they're a monopoly or not are the people who are attached to the gaming industry, trying to maybe see if they can get a fucking, like, trying to see if they can get, like, an antitrust. And it's like, no, because Steam has competitors still. They still have Epic Games, they still have GOG, they still have itch.io. They're not a monopoly. They're not a monopoly. This needs more monopoly than rather than Steam. Yeah, exactly. The whole point of a monopoly is that they don't have competition. And Steam has lots of competition. They're just the biggest platform, is all. And the other platforms are doing fine. They'd be doing better if Visa and MasterCard would fuck off. I actually just watched this, funny enough. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I saw a different video from someone else, but I haven't seen Charlie's take on it, so it's a shorter video. We'll most successful, yeah. So yeah, we'll just see what Charlie has to say. Okay, did you win, boop?
Today I found something pretty interesting that I just can't resist the urge to share with all of you.
There we go. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh.
I'm just kidding. That's a classic gag.
Wow.
Right there. I got you good.
Wow.
But I did actually read something pretty fascinating. It was an independent study that was conducted that found 72% of the games industry...
where did 72% come from? Source, please. Source, please. Also, thank you for the tithe, Arska. Got him. When I see Charlie, I see a character he voiced in Dispatch. Yeah, I saw that. I probably should consider playing Dispatch at some point, but like I said, I barely have time to even play on my own server right now. My own Minecraft server. See him doing it right, yeah. Hi, Arska.
Executives believe that Steam has a monopoly on PC games.
Source, please.
And
Jeannie Gordon.
This is an interesting topic and something that I've talked about on stream quite a bit, but I want to yap about this because
I want your take,
they're
yes,
not
Charlie.
Entirely wrong. Steam is like a diet monopoly when it comes to PC games, but not.
Yeah, they ended up in this position not because they were trying to be. They've just been doing what they've always done. Like I said earlier, they've just been doing what they've always done. And because everyone else is doing such a shit job, they ended up as a monopoly. But like I said, they still have competitors. They still have, you know, GOG. I think Humble Bundle is still alive, too. Like, any platform that sells and has a launcher, I guess anything that sells a game, I would consider a competitor. But I think if you want to say and has a launcher, you have Epic Games and GOG. itch.io I don't think would qualify because they don't have a launcher, and they pride themselves on just offering you the files straight up once you purchase them. So, I mean, it depends on how you define a competitor, but yeah, no, Steam absolutely has competitors.
Not because they use like monopolistic tactics or anything, they literally just offer a better service than anything else that seems to come up, and literally do nothing and win. Just literally by being better than all of the competitors that.
And I am praying to God that. I know Gabe is technically retired. I think I'm assuming it's his son running the show at the moment. And I hope his son follows in his father's footsteps, because Lord, do we know we need him. Holy crap.
That try and enter the market. Developers and players just naturally gravitate towards Steam. And thus they do kind of have like a stranglehold, like nipple clamps on PC games market. So like they do have oomph. And you can make an argument that they're like a soft monopoly, but I think it tells a very interesting story because there are alternatives, there are competitors, they just don't necessarily thrive. So anytime that a new game's...
Let me tell you something. I don't use Epic Games because I don't think it's compatible on my system. But the one thing I've always hated about them is that they just shove their launcher into their games, even in games that weren't originally from or owned by them. It pisses me the fuck off every time. Every time. And I'll never use them because of it. And for GOG, I probably would use GOG if Galaxy was compatible on Linux. And they have, for whatever reason, have never made it compatible, and I don't know why. Ow! What the hell? Fucking hell, potato. What the hell? I'm assuming it's either potato or lyric. What are you? God damn it. Tempted with GOG so as to play Silent Hill 4. I think... Jesus. If it's delayed, you guys might have to refresh stream. I've been having internet issues all day. And I don't have a way to look at it. Look at how it is on OBS, so... Jesus. I'm gonna have to, like, fucking filter this. God damn it. We shove in launchers? Well, Epic Games is, anyways. Alright, hold on, guys. I'm gonna turn off the Twitch integrated throwing system. I don't have a way to turn that off right now, so just don't use anything from it. It's just the best way to guarantee that's not gonna be a problem. Okay, let's start again.
So anytime that a new games platform tries to enter the market to compete with Steam, they do their own version, you know, with blackjack and hookers and whatever. And it usually flounders. Like, it usually flatlines pretty quickly because it's just inferior to Steam. Even though Steam has remained largely unchanged for...
Here's the thing. If a service was actually honest and true... I don't know. I guess there's more factors that when I actually think about it, but... On one hand, they are at a point where they're so big that they're kind of swallowing any platform that would compete against them. At the same time, I think marketing is really the biggest thing people could do, but traditional marketing is expensive. Word of mouth is cheap, but it doesn't always work. Trying to think. There's a modding platform called DEG. And they've been poisoning themselves as an alternative to Nexus mods. And they, for the most part, have only been operating as word of mouth because people will get stupidly banned for stupid reasons on Nexus. And like, hey, we exist. We're censorship free. Come over. And I actually mean that, by the way. You can see some real interesting mods over there. But I wonder if maybe they're potentially going to expand from modding to something else at some point, because they keep talking like they're gonna try to be something bigger than what they are right now. So I've been kind of following them and keeping an eye on what they're doing. But we'll see.
For the longest time, it has cemented itself as just a really easy-to-use platform that's just extremely convenient for developers and players.
It's just convenient.
So a new platform springing up, it's got its work cut out for it. But
and here's the thing, the moment Steam becomes inconvenient is the day that other platforms will finally succeed. But at this point, it won't be sabotage from the outside that brings it down, it'll be Steam sabotaging itself. So that's kind of why I'm praying that the leadership doesn't lead people astray, because throwing away years of goodwill has been saving a lot of things. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just hoping and praying whoever's driving the ship, please do not stray the path. Steam is where Microsoft was 20 years ago. They have a solution that works, and everyone is either a copycat or seriously incomplete. The thing is, Xbox could have technically counted as a competitor too, and PlayStation Store as well. Except fucking Xbox is adopting Steam onto their Xbox. So what's the fucking point of trying to compete against them when you're choosing to adopt Steam onto Xbox? Like, they're just willingly bending over and saying, yes, we succumb to you at that point. Jesus.
That's not to say they don't exist, because there are a lot of alternatives. Well, maybe a lot's being a little charitable. There are some alternatives. Some of them are even decent, like GOG. Even though in recent times I've had extraordinarily horrible luck with GOG and getting games to actually fucking work through there.
True.
It is a service that is good, but it's not really comparable to.
I actually had a pretty bad experience with one game on GOG myself. And this isn't GOG's fault per se, but it would have been a lot easier if I could get Galaxy to work. One of the developers for a game I was trying to play decided that they were gonna lock their game behind the Galaxy. So it was originally playable, and I had the installer on local, so I tried to install it with that. It didn't work, because they took the EXE and shoved it behind, and basically you can't get the EXE file unless you are using Galaxy. So, and because I'm on Linux, that caused me to lose access to the game. Because again, Galaxy doesn't work. Literally the skeleton meme for waiting forever for that fucking thing to come out. I wish they'd finally make it compatible, because GOG and Itch.io have been two platforms that have been pretty Linux friendly. Steam is as well, but only because I can technically add games to my library from local. That's the only reason why I'm able to get that to work. Bend over? Oh my gosh. I'm dreading it when Steam gets fucked. I am too. That's why I'm hoping and praying it doesn't.
Steam or anything. And then there's things like the Epic Game Store, which
Yep.
I think did try and employ monopolistic tactics to compete with Steam.
Yep.
Epic Game Store.
It was doing the shit to Apple, by the way. But to be fair, Apple was asking for it.
How many of you remember? It was trying to like incentivize developers to marry themselves to their platform exclusively. Basically, trying to have like their own console wars between these platforms of Steam versus Epic Game Store. So they would like steal away developer titles to go to the Epic Game Store through incentives. And it didn't work because Epic Game Store itself is just not a great platform.
No.
So people don't like to use it willingly.
There's only a handful of games I can think of that exist on Epic Games that I might want to play that aren't on Steam. And that's it. Like, there's like no other reason for me to go over there. They just don't have great games over there. And more importantly, any game that is interesting is usually also on Steam, so it's never really affected me.
Very few people choose Epic Game Store over Steam. So it hasn't beaten Steam, and it's kind of a joke that's gotten
it does
a lot
exist
of
as a competitor,
because
though,
of some of their tactics they've used to try and compete. Whereas Steam doesn't really do any of that. It just kind of sits there fucking lollipop in hand and...
Sorry, I was trying to make sure that my... Because I noticed that when the bar sits, my Ko-Fi gets in the way. Sorry about that.
Does nothing and is winning.
Yep.
All these other
it literally just sits there minding its own business.
Usually just run themselves straight into the shitter. So Steam just always prevails in the end. And
minding his own business.
Put in a position where it is like a...
Flourishing and all that. Flourishing, hydrated, moisturized, in their lane, while everyone else is trying to compete and failing. EGS has zero appeal, yeah. Steam can steam these nuts, damn.
Off monopoly. Worth mentioning about this study in particular, 75% of respondents were senior managers of C-suite level, with 77% from studios with more than 50 employees. And the study found that for a majority of the studios, Steam accounts for over 75% of revenue. And then they do briefly mention...
Are they... Wait, hold on. Are these idiots trying to complain that they're getting most of their money from Steam? Shut the fuck up. Be lucky that you're getting money at all. For fuck's sake.
Utilizing Epic Game Store and the Xbox PC Game Store. But again, it's clear Steam is the bulk of the balloons here. It is fascinating because, as I briefly mentioned, Steam doesn't do anything to try and solidify this pseudo-monopoly. Like, they don't have parameters in place to try and force people to use Steam. And
now, Steam is not innocent, by the way. They have done some scummy things under the surface. And amongst themselves not doing anything, they've been allowed CSGO to kind of exist for a long time. I mean, you guys can have your own thoughts on CSGO, but personally, I have never liked it because I feel like it helped enable a lot of modern gambling today, in this day and age. And loot boxes and, you know, all of that wonderful shit. So I've never been a fan of that. And the fact that Steam always just kind of allowed it on their marketplace was always an eyebrow raiser. And also surprising that they decided to put an end to it, or at least fuck around with it anyways. Epic Games does not have shower with your dad simulator. Oh my gosh.
Drive out competition or anything like that. They literally just plant their feet and lat spread and just sit there menacingly. To the point where if you're a developer releasing on PC and you choose not to release on Steam,
even menacingly,
you are cutting your own nuts off. You are doing yourself a huge disservice in not having your game in front of all of those Steam users. And again, it's not Steam that's doing that and putting that fear of God in you. It's just gamers choose Steam, so if your game's not on Steam, they might not be buying it.
And the moment Steam becomes inconvenient to gamers is the day gamers choose a different platform. So, this is literally a case of not a monopoly, just a market favorite.
At all in general. They might not even give it the time of day. So, like, it's very interesting, because again, Steam, at least not to anything I've ever seen, has never really tried to do anything to be a monopoly in the PC gaming space. They've just always been really convenient, like user-focused, and like, first and foremost, just accessible to developers and users.
Like I was saying earlier, I use Steam a lot for a lot more than I used to because of Linux not always being compatible with certain types of programs. I have to run Tits through Steam because Tits being Twitch integrated throwing system, by the way, don't get your head out of the gutter. I have to run it through Steam because it wasn't it runs through Lutris, but the internet connectivity stuff doesn't run well, so I have to go through Steam to make it work. It's not that I don't have to use it. And I have stream avatars if I have to, but because that one I did buy on Steam. But yeah, it just helps make things work. And I think I could make it work through Lutris if I tinkered with some of my settings. I just don't know how to do it. Is all. Listen. I've been using it for nearly 2 years now, maybe a little longer than that. I'm not an expert still, but I'm already. If any of you know the XFCE, no, wait, no, that's not it. There's a comic that's like based on stick figures, and they usually do high tech memes through it. There's one where they talk about how it's. There's like 4 stages of a Linux user, and I'm already well beyond where the comic ends on that front. Man.
That they are just the best service.
They are.
Of course, it's not perfect. Nothing ever will be. Like, I fucking hate the Steam friend UI and all that.
Yeah.
I bitch and moan about
the UI is even more garbage on Linux, by the way. It's laggy, it's ugly. Spikes my RAM up a bit, I don't know why. And it seems like the only way I can make it work is just to not use it, or to be offline. It's really annoying.
That endlessly on stream whenever I'm trying to like co-op with friends on different games. But like, overall, the Steam platform is better than any other games platform that has come out.
And also, I keep forgetting this. Steam actually does have... I could technically stream to Steam if I wanted to. I could. I just don't want to, because it's not ideal for streaming. And also, I don't even know where to even start with setting that kind of thing up anyways, so...
Generally speaking. So, it's hard to compete with that. So even though Steam's doing nothing, like, they don't need to, like, innovate or change things, they just have to not wipe their whole ass with everything they've built over the last couple of decades.
Right.
And so far, they've been doing a great job of not just fucking it all up. And that seems to be, like, all they do.
Literally, they do nothing.
To limit competition or anything.
Only make changes when it's absolutely necessary, like they do with Visa, MasterCard getting down their throat about stupid shit. Which I still am not happy with. I wish they had more sway to push back. But, unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna push... They can only push back so far, because that's the one group of people Steam can't push back on, unfortunately. Remember when Steam had live trading instead of only trade offers? I actually don't. I may have only started using it after or around the time they changed it, so maybe I didn't notice that. Because they're fakes. With Steam flops, don't say the PC gaming dies, but there will be American Pie, the second song, but how about about how Master Race died. Steam has definitely been a contributor to the PC Master Race meme for sure. But like I said, there are other platforms that people can glorify. And I'm hoping that, and like I said, I've hoped GOG makes Galaxy compatible with Linux, because I'm kind of tired of not having some of my games work because of it. And then that would also put them on level playing field with Steam, by the way. Because for some reason, Steam is more friendly to Linux users than they are to than GOG is, which is really bizarre. I remember getting scammed a few times when I was a kid trading my TF2 items. Damn. In the end, there will be some hole in the heart without that, yeah.
I have to imagine at the Steam HQ, they don't even know that they're ever in a competition with other game platforms. They probably have no fucking idea about, like, what Epic Game Store does with trying to get, like, exclusives and shit in the past. Like, I doubt they even have it as a blip on their radar. Now, normally...
I think they do pay attention, they just don't give it any attention. Publicly, anyways.
Monopolies are a really bad thing for consumers. That's typically bad news. You do not want monopolies because they're...
Also, sorry, I'm still eating a little bit of lunch and snacks, so... I woke up and had nothing today, so I just grabbed something real quick.
There's no incentive to be the best service. There's no incentive to change or improve or get better for consumers, because what's the point? There's no alternatives. And like I said, Steam is not a monopoly. But it kind of is like a de facto monopoly in the sense that pretty much everyone is choosing Steam, developer and players alike. So
I think I like my term better, where I just called it a market favorite. Because it still has competitors. What makes it a monopoly is the lack of competitors. Especially when you have things like a duopoly in certain instances. Where you have two companies that are agreeing with each other in lockstep to control basically everything in their field. Steam's not really doing that with like, the other competitors. They just kind of exist and they're doing their job. And that's it. So, not a monopoly, but definitely a market favorite is my humble opinion.
All the other alternative platforms, they're not exactly
the only monopoly except I don't know,
popping off or anything like that. They're not out there wiggling their finger in celebration with how great everything's going there compared to like a Steam or something.
Nope. Every day they've broken a record. They never really... I don't know if it was Steam that announced it. I think it was other people that announced it. Because for Steam, it was just another day. They didn't... They're busy just doing the job.
But Steam is the best thing for consumers right now in this market. There isn't a better alternative. So it is weird because it is a monopoly that is a monopoly because it just is the best. So people are choosing it willingly. They're not being like, you know, fucking hypnotized into it or something, or they're not being forced to because of lack of alternatives. It is just the best in the industry right now. So everyone goes to it. So it's one of the few times you'll see this kind of report where it's like, oh, this many people believe Steam is a monopoly, and you're like, oh yeah, good. That's great news. You're right. it's
I mean, it's just it's just kind of how it ended up being. When everyone was trying different bullshit during lockdowns to try to capitalize on money, Steam was just like, you know what? We're just gonna keep doing what we're doing because we have no reason to change. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Apparently me turning the volume down doesn't seem to matter. Oh well. Other platforms just gotta get good. Yep.
So rare. Because let's take another de facto monopoly, for example. YouTube. It's got a big time stranglehold on video sharing. They're
not the only ones out there, by the way. I mean, Rumble's the close second. I know of Odyssey. And of course there's BitChute too, which I don't recommend at all. I don't recommend Odyssey either. They've got their own problems. Sorry, Gertie, what's the new follower's full name? Shush. Shush. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. YouTube is not a monopoly in the sense that they don't have competitors, but they are a monopoly because they're owned by one of the biggest corporations that owns a lot of monopolies in other places. If YouTube was sold off to be its own entity, I think they'd do fine. I think YouTube would still be okay. But under the current leadership, and especially being owned by Google, no, it's just not possible. I think the big problem with YouTube getting sold off would be that they would lose their server capacity. And that could be a real problem. So I don't see them leaving Google's iron grip anytime soon.
Very few alternatives to YouTube, and it's something that's been discussed, yapped about, blabbered about for so many years now, and there just isn't a real YouTube competitor. And what does YouTube do with this swamp-ass throne it finds itself on top of for videos? Well, it doesn't improve, I'll tell you that much. It's definitely not the best it can be. There has been some big-time shitification going on in recent years, because where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, that's why I've situated myself in Rumble, because it seems like the best alternative for video hosting. I may start streaming to there instead of YouTube if I can... I mean, it's one of those where I don't know where... I know I need to eventually start streaming to Rumble. Because that's required in order to, I guess, make partner. But I don't really... I'm waiting until I can get about 100 followers over there. Which seems pretty low, but it's... But as a VTuber who's been pushing gaming content, and perhaps maybe not the highest quality gaming content, you're not gonna see... Unfortunately, you're not gonna see a ton of, people showing up. For the most part, the only people who are leaving comments in my videos have been bots, and I have to mute and delete. I can't block them completely either, which is annoying. So yeah, if you're looking for a different alternative platform to watch me on, Rumble is the way to go.
There's nowhere else besides YouTube for video sharing and all of the features that YouTube has available. There isn't a real alternative, and there's no incentive for YouTube to fix the mini.
And like I said with the other two platforms, they're not good for two different reasons. BitChute's not good because it's full of crazy... like last time I was there, it was full of crazy conspiracy theory videos. Like, absolute batshit insane ones. Not even logical ones, just people who are pushing crazy doomer conspiracy theories. It was not healthy to be there for more than a little bit. And Odyssey is one of those that's trying to capitalize on crypto with their own currency, which from what I understand has been pretty stable in price. Like, it's ranged around $1 in USD, I guess. But the way they have it set up for video editing is for video hosting is confusing, because they require you to understand how the crypto platform works. And on top of that, they are... How do I explain this? I advocate for free speech, but I also advocate for certain types of things to maybe not be said or promoted too much. Like, a great example of this is I don't like Hassan Piker for obvious reasons. I think that'd be my best way to do that. Although Hassan Piker would be doing well over on Odyssey, because Destiny is over there too. And you can definitely find all other forms of extreme content there as well. So that's why I don't really like that platform too much. The question is, when do you start your pumpkin coin? I'm not doing crypto. I'm not doing crypto at all. Bishu's just slow as shit. There's that too, yeah. We want NFT multis? No. Getting into the crypto space would be an instant cancellation for me. People would fucking ditch me. I'm not doing that. And also, I'm just personally not interested in crypto or NFTs at all. I don't know. I just see the whole crypto thing as a scam at worst, and at best a really terrible replacement for actual currency. So, then flushable turrets.
Many problems that have been plaguing the site for so long. YouTube can do horrible decision after terrible decision after awful decision till the cows come home out the wazoo, and it doesn't really affect them because there isn't real competition.
Right.
The users stay because YouTube does have a de facto monopoly. And
they do.
And I imagine...
And like I said, there's a lot of old-ass videos that would disappear if anything happened to the servers, so they do have the archiving power as well, which is scary, which is a scary thing to lose. So that's something to also consider going forward, that if anything ever happens to YouTube's ability to store data, decades of information and videos are just going to disappear. So we gotta be mindful of that as well.
99% of cases, if you ask somebody, do you think it's a good thing that YouTube has this, position here as a de facto monopoly, they'd say no. But then if you ask that same question to somebody about Steam, they would probably say yes. And it's not hard to see why. It's a very big distinction here, I would say. Steam got to this position by just being better than all of the other competitors. I saw a comment that kind of painted it pretty well. Steam isn't a monopoly, its competition is just incompetent.
Yeah.
That's
perfect.
Pretty true.
It's not that like is Steam exactly what's happening.
To my knowledge, used its position in the industry to crush the little guy trying to make a startup that's better than Steam or something. All it does...
Top 10 things that didn't happen. Sorry, I'm talking a little bit over him, sorry. That's why I have the captions up. Made directly from the source by gamer subs... I'm... Like I said, it'd be fun to ever do gamer subs for you guys, but... The problem is, once again, I don't have the rights to do that, so... Maybe if I upgrade Mulchi to where I can maybe... market him, maybe that's an option, but I can't do it for myself still. Like I said, one thing at a time. I have a prettier face, not necessarily a marketable one, unfortunately, but we take baby steps closer to our goal.
Is just sit there like a fucking tree.
I'm sorry, I have to fucking... Lyric! What the fuck? What the hell? God damn it.
All it does. It's been around for so long. It innovated at the very beginning. It cracked the code on what it needed to be the best. And now all they have to do is just not fuck it up.
Right.
And everyone else that tries to compete in the space just puts out a legitimately worse product, generally speaking.
Mostly.
Like I mentioned earlier, GOG I do think offers a different kind of product still in the same space, but having like DRM-free copies for old...
And like I said, if they made Galaxy compatible on Linux, that's a whole market they could be opening up to and actually have a chance to compete against Steam, because there's a lot of games that are on Steam that exist on GOG. So I'm hoping and praying, but so far, no dice on Galaxy working on my system. So, oh well. Now I crave the multi-level. Oh my god, you guys, what the fuck?
Older games and stuff is a valuable service to offer, and it is something a bit different than what Steam offers. I just personally haven't had great luck with GOG recently. So anyway, yeah, I do actually kind of agree here. This survey was also conducted by what appears to be another platform that's trying to sell developers on the idea to sell
of course.
So
of course they call Steam a monopoly, and then they're like, oh hey, we offer those same services, but way worse. Come over here. And the only people who are gonna buy into it are the people who fucking hate Steam. So there's that.
It itself is already a little weird, but the actual subject matter of Steam being a soft monopoly is an interesting topic, I think.
Yeah.
And it is one where I'd say, yeah, Steam is kind of a soft monopoly. But what's crazy is, I don't think that's a bad thing. They are just the best in the industry for a gaming platform. Like, they just made the best platform.
Yeah, I mean,
they haven't done anything.
Right place, right time. They played their cards right for many decades, and they continue to be good. Also, it's the end of the video, so don't worry about it. GOG has former abandonware for sale. Yeah, that's also one of GOG's strengths too. We can start pumpkindeer, bizarre licorice fruit in the shape of your antlers. Oh my gosh. Turnip mulchy with milkies. What the hell? Odin's own deodorant. What?